What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Locked In Sports Podcast. I'm William Locke, and joining me, as always, from Miami, Florida, is Luis Barranco. Luis, it is Thursday afternoon. The Yankees avoided a sweep. I feel like the mood of this podcast would be a lot different if the Yankees lost today. How you doing, my friend?
I texted Armand this morning on my way to my office, and I told Armand, please tune in to tonight's podcast if the Yankees lose. It was about to be a generational Rage William podcast tonight if the Yankees would have lost. But they at least got it done, winning 7-3 today. Moved a lot lighter. I still feel there will be a lot of hot takes that we will be looking back at the end of the season and being like, yeah, I should not have said that. But that's why we podcast. That's what we're here for. Happy Thursday. Happy Juneteenth. Hope the weather's great over in Chicago. It is about 95 degrees in Miami. And all is well. How are you doing?
I'm good. Weather is beautiful. No work today. I'm off until Monday. Took tomorrow off as well. So enjoying my time off. Got to get in the gym. I'm recovering from tendonitis in my foot, so I'm finally able to do a little bit of running, which is nice. So feels good to be back. Yankees, I feel like the mood would be a lot different if they had lost today. I still think the win today does not absolve them from some things that are going to be said on this podcast. Probably, like you said, some things we'll take back at the end of the season. It's also been a very interesting week in baseball. A lot to talk about. Padres, Dodgers, the Mets are kind of in shambles right now. I think we got a lot to get to in this episode. Of course, we have some more of the fallout from the Rafael Devers trade. When we recorded last Sunday, it was pretty raw. There's been a lot that's come out since then, but I'm excited for this one.
Well, let's talk about it. I mean, as always, New York is falling right now between the Mets, the Yankees, and Jalen Brunson's tweets last night, which he had to clarify. Did you see that last night?
I did, and he was just talking about Love Island, right?
On Tuesday, yeah. Love Island is incredible right now. So, the city of New York is crashing out like Huda on Love Island. So, for those who don't get the reference, go watch Love Island and you'll understand. The Mets, as of today, well, they play today. They play Atlanta. They have lost a couple of games. They've lost 5 in a row as of last night. And the Yankees, as of last night, now no more, lost 6 in a row. And as we always do on this podcast, we always open up with a weekend review of the New York Yankees with our resident Yankee aficionado, William Locke. William has been a Yankees fan since birth, since the womb, as we say. And we always recap the week that was for the New York Yankees. This week was a tough week for the Yankees. They played the Angels, which they made the the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They made them into sellers, into buyers at the deadline as they won 3 of 4 on Monday. Let's start with Monday. You can't ask for anything better. The Angels won 1-0 in 11 innings. Let's talk about it. How did you feel after that Monday night game?
That's when it started to get a little concerning. Got shut out on Sunday against Boston in Fenway, and then you get shut out against the Angels at home. That made it 20 straight innings without a run for the offense. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were because I was home. I didn't have coaching this week. We don't have coaching there's no practice on Thursday today, or no games on Saturday, and Tuesday was off as well. The kids went to the Chicago Sky game. So we had the whole week off from baseball, and I was sitting at home watching these games from start to finish, as I always do. But oh God, it was brutal watching these. And Monday was just a terrible, terrible game. There were some highlights. Clark Schmidt was great. I think he's really improved over his past few starts. He went 7 2/3, only allowed 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. His ERA is down to a 3.16, and he has a 1.40 ERA in the month of June through 3 starts. Has only allowed 3 earned runs in 19.1 innings pitched in the month of June. He's working himself into playoff contention as a starter. Unfortunately for the Yankees, they could not do anything offensively. 1 for 18 with runners in scoring position. It was nails on a chalkboard level performance. Jose Siriano, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, just kind of was dominating the Yankees. Another, positive highlight, Giancarlo Stanton returns, went 2 for 4 with a double, was our best hitter in that game on Monday night. But
he looks good. You do need that veteran leadership He is a veteran leader. He's been, as we talked about earlier in the podcast, he is kind of the voice of the Yankees, the big voice, like the big thumper. Like Judge and Goldie are kind of lead as examples, and Goldie's a new guy.
Yeah.
I like to think of Goldie, because he's built up goodwill in the league as being an elite player over the last couple of years. I kind of feel like he still doesn't really have a voice as other guys like Cole and Judge. But you need Big G in the lineup, and he did what he needed to do. But man, Anthony Volpe on Monday. I mean, this was the Anthony Volpe series. Let's talk about it.
Well, let's finish. Yeah. We'll get to Volpe. Let's finish Monday. We'll get to Volpe on Wednesday's game because that's where he really was in the spotlight.
He was bad on Monday too. You don't get me wrong. He was really bad on Monday.
He was bad all week. But Jonathan Loaisiga came in for the 11th and gave up that double to Nolan Schanuel. That was the only run of the game. And Loaisiga spiked the ball after that, walking off the field after that inning was over, because he knew the Yankees weren't going to do anything. And sure enough, they did not. So that was the first loss of the series, 1-0. That extended the losing streak to 4. And then Tuesday's game, Yankees lost 4-0. That made it 29 straight innings without scoring a run, their 4th longest scoreless streak since the pitcher's mound was lowered in 1969. It was also the first time they were shut out in 3 straight games since September of 2016. Lost in the wild card round that year, I believe. Oh, no, 2016, they didn't make the playoffs. 2015, they lost in the wild card round to the Astros. 7th time that has happened in franchise history, which started in 1903. Kyle Hendricks, I mean, it was the reverse Ryan Yarbrough, the right-handed Ryan Yarbrough. He had a season-high 9 strikeouts against the Yankees. His ERA was lowered to a 4.79, so it's not like he's even had that good of a season. The Yankees just could not hit him. You texted me. You said he looked like prime Greg Maddux the way he was locating on Tuesday night.
Yeah, these games are definitely not for the casual. Like, these are for the real sicko baseball heads like us. But I feel like after watching today's game and Tuesday night's game, is that we had the LA Angels of Anaheim had some pitchers throwing 85 miles. I think that they have all Ryan Yarbroughs on their staff. Their bullpen is like flamethrowers with who's the guy who pitched today? He went to Miami, Ohio. Sam Bachman. Sam Bachman and the other guy, not Paul Joyce, he's a reporter, but Ben Joyce. That they all throw like that, but like he's hurt. He didn't pitch the series, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's out for the season. I believe he got Tommy John.
But man, oh man, like these games were tough. And then you go to Wednesday's game where last night's game. What do you want to say about Tuesdays?
Just on Tuesday, Will Warren, career high in strikeouts. He went 6 innings with 11 strikeouts to no walks. Really good start for him. Did allow 3 earned runs, so not perfect. And then question on this game: thoughts on Garrett Cole in the booth? He spent a lot of time.
Oh, he was stiff. He definitely is not a booth guy. Like, you could definitely tell he was very careful on what he said. He doesn't seem like he's ready for prime time yet. He's a Roku type of guy. Put him at 11:30 type of guy. They do have a game on Sunday on Roku.
Yeah,
which is the Orioles. So he's 11:30. Got to work up to that Paul O'Neill and Michael K level.
I think he could get better with some reps. I also think he might be better when he's just not playing anymore and he can really kind of let loose and not feel obligated to protect guys and stuff.
Or maybe he's a guy that just says a lot of swear words in his vocabulary. He can't really talk freely in the.
Doesn't strike me as that. He's kind of I don't know. He's a little odd, I would say. Maybe a little quirky,
a little reserved. The one thing I do want to take note, and this will factor into this week. Let's talk about Wednesday.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of managerial decisions, and I want William. Like, you gotta put your manager hat on now. Like, you're the manager of the podcast, so you got to put the hat on. But Wednesday they lost 3-2. It was just solo shot after solo shot. Samuel, Adele, Bellinger, Chisholm, all solo shots. Ben Rice was catching, which was also pretty big that he got the nod over a guy like JC Escara. Jansen got a save. They broke the 30-inning scoreless streak with a Jazz homer in the second. But then let's talk about Anthony Volpe. He's had a tough week last week on Friday night. He had a tough game Monday night in extras. And now last night was the icing on top. You know what they say in life? That things come in threes. And that's how it's been for Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe had a big error in the 8th inning where the ball was hit towards him and it kind of like, to his benefit, I won't defend him because he has to make that play. He's a Gold Glove shortstop, but the ball kind of hopped onto his chest, and so he misplayed the ball, which caused him to, number one, miss the catch on the grounder off the hop, and then he just did an awful throw to second base, trying to just overcook the throw and just threw an awful throw to second, blew the double play. Angels score. It gets a 3-2 ball game, and then the Yankees had runners in the 8th inning, couldn't score, and then it's just tough. It was just a tough loss. But let's talk about Aaron Boone. I mean, Anthony Volpe keeps getting thrown out there every single night. Like, it's to his defense, of Boone's defense, who else gives you a good chance to win in the lineup? You're not throwing out Oswald, and Pablo's not on the roster. But it's getting to the point, and I feel you would agree with this, that the leash on Anthony Volpe is getting short. I understand the front office wants him to make him the golden boy, and they want him to be like one of the faces of the Yankees and be a part of that generation. Sort of like how we had when we were in college in the 16s, 17s, and 18, when you had the baby bombers with Judge, Sanchez, Gleiber, and our podcast favorite, Grit Bird. But it's getting to the time that, push is coming to shove, that the fan base is wearing thin. Let me just tell you some statistics. Volpe looks good statistically if you look at some metrics, but other metrics makes him look poorly. And it's getting to the point where we can't defend him off statistics. You brought up his Savant page, which was icy blue. Volpe is, for his career, is 229 batting average, 229 OBP, and a 673 OBS. And he's a pretty fast guy. But my whole point is, if the Yankees are trying to compete for a World Series, they need to have some sort of positional depth, or they should platoon this guy, because it's getting to the point where we cannot defend Anthony Volpe. The front office cannot defend Anthony Volpe for what he's putting out on the field. And, we give a lot of slack for Aaron Boone, but also, I mean, it seems like Boone's really liked in the clubhouse, as Cole said. He said that he's forever grateful because of how they handled the whole COVID situation, with how Garrett Cole was coming in that season, and he just seems like he gets along. But when are we going to get the Aaron Boone that's going to put the hammer down and be like, all right, Volpe, like, you got to hit the bench. We got to give, you're not giving us the best chance to win. His at-bats are terrible, and you know how life is. When it rains, it pours. Guess who was up 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth with the game on the line?
Of course, yeah.
Of course, Anthony Volpe strikes out, swings like minimum 5 to 10 inches down.
He missed the ball by like a foot. I've never seen someone miss by that much.
But let me just give you the question. Like, what do we do? Where do we do? What's the discourse? Where do we go with Volpe?
It's a really interesting storyline to follow. And, you mentioned Boone. Boone's a player's manager, and, he's always going to defend his players. And that's why players like players managers, because they're not going to be held accountable. And we've talked about this numerous times. Boone always defends his guys in the media, and they'll always be in the lineup the next day, no matter what they do. And guys like Volpe, Wells, Judge is always going to be in the lineup, but like Dominguez is the one guy that's not getting run out there every single time. But those guys that especially come through the Yankees organization are always going to be defended by Boone. He's a player's manager. On Volpe, I like Volpe as a person. He's a really nice dude, good kid, came up through the area. But as a baseball player, I mean, he's not cutting it at this point to be the shortstop of the New York Yankees. Part of me wonders, is he personally built to handle the role? And it's one of the hardest positions to play in the sport. And then you add on the New York media factor of it all. It's arguably the hardest position to play in all of baseball is shortstop for the New York Yankees because of the spotlight that comes with it. He has 9 errors this season. That leads American League shortstops. My thing with Anthony Volpe is, if you're not playing elite level defense, Gold Glove level defense, what are you doing? What are you providing for me? Because he's not a good hitter. It's okay to admit it. He's not a good hitter. You mentioned it, 673 career OPS in 391 games. That's not good enough, man. This season, you mentioned his legs. He's a good runner. He's attempted to steal a base 14 times. He's stolen 8 bags and gotten caught stealing 6 times. He's gotten caught stealing 6 times. That's a horrible ratio. I don't know what's going on with him.
That's about 50, not 50%, but a tad under 50% in the 40 to 50s. That's 6 out of 14. When you do the math, that's three.
No. It's sorry. He's gotten caught stealing 6 out of 14 times. So he's
That's
got
what I'm
8 stolen
saying.
bases. So a tick above 50%.
Yeah, well, it's bad.
It's bad. It's bad. If you're not stealing bases, if you're not running the bases at an elite level, not making base running mistakes the way he has lately, and if you're not playing elite level defense, what are you providing for me? Because he can't hit. He can't hit. And
He can't.
it's you mentioned it, like what did they do organizationally? Because there's no one that's pushing at his door right now. He's got the spot. There's no real pressure on him necessarily to perform right now. I know he's got the New York media and everything, but in terms of like you take all that out and you just think of who can push for his spot. There's nobody, especially this season. You know, George Lombard's a couple years away. I don't think they're going to do anything externally at the trade deadline because they view him as the golden child, right? So it's his position for the rest of the season. He has 3 more years of arbitration after this year. I really think if he continues to struggle the way he is right now through the rest of the season, the Yankees have a decision to make at shortstop. It'll be really interesting to see what they do with George Lombard. I don't want to see them push and rush George Lombard. I still think he needs time to develop at the minor league level. And do they go externally this offseason? I don't know, because it feels like they think George Lombard might be the next guy. But right now, it doesn't feel like Volpe's the answer at shortstop. And it's the most important position on the field, especially defensively.
Yeah.
Just he's not cutting it. He's not cutting it. And I know people will point to some of the numbers and try to make the argument for Anthony Volpe, but if you watch him day in, day out, it's not cutting it.
It's just like his uncompetitive at bats is what I'd like to call Anthony Volpe. Uncompetitive at bat. And that's what concerns me. Like, I don't care if you have like sub 250, 240 average. Like, we go into the discussion with Ben Rice. And I know there's like baseball propaganda we will not fall for, which is expected batting average. But Ben Rice puts good at bats. He gets good contact on the base, on the ball. On the bat to ball contact.
I feel better, and there's no way to quantify it, but I feel better when Ben Rice is hitting than when Anthony Volpe is hitting.
I'm just saying, this just when you look at what's going to happen at the trade deadline, when we look forward, I know Cashman spoke about it yesterday, and he said, obviously those days are coming sooner than later. The calendar moves fast, even though it's a long season. Before you know it, we have the amateur draft in mid-July, then boom, the deadline is right upon us. So when we're looking at those comments, I mean, we will see the Yankees make a move. I would like the Yankees to get a multi-positional infielder. Give me a guy like IKF. Give me a guy like Ahmed Rosario on this team, because guys like Ahmed Rosario and IKF are proven defenders. They have decent bats, and they've handled the New York media before in their careers. So they could go in, give you a valuable stopgap at second, third, maybe even shortstop if Volpe wants an off day. I know DJ LeMahieu isn't great, but you can't fix all the problems on a team at one deadline. So just bring in IKF, bring in Ahmed Rosario, because those are the only 2 guys I can think of right now that will probably be available at the deadline out of the selling teams. So you bring those 2 guys, Volpe gets an off day, it's taxing. And this as an ex-player, going every day, every game, having to go through the grind, the season's hard. And when you look at the slump, 6-game losing streak, it's tough. But remember, it's 162 games in this season, and it's taxing. There's going to be days that they're going to lose easy games, and there's going to be days that they're going to look really great. And that's just what happens in Major League Baseball because the season's so long. There's ebbs and flows. There's peaks and valleys, peaks and troughs. It goes throughout the MLB season. Every good team slumps. It's just a matter of when they slump. A couple years ago, the Rays started out ridiculous. I think it was 2 years ago that the Rays started out on a heater, winning all through April and May, and then they got the summer and they just collapsed. Another year, it was Texas and Arizona getting hot at the end and getting to the World Series. We can talk about Philadelphia. Philadelphia always gets hot at the end of the year and goes on a run. So at the end of the day, cool. What matters for the Yankees, and again, I think I can ask you the question, what matters more? I've said it on pod. What matters more? Does the regular season matter to you, or does your postseason success matter to you?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously it's the postseason success. You got to get to the postseason, and to your point, we knew the struggle was the struggle bus was going to come, and we talked about this in April and May when they were riding high. It's like enjoy this right while it's happening. We know they're going to struggle. For some reason, it's always been June for the Yankees. Dating back to 2023, the Yankees are 32 and 34 in June. This was after last night's game, so make that 33 and 34 after today's win, compared to 186 and 145 in all other months. This is all under Aaron Boone, which really makes me wonder why. Why do the Yankees always start off really hot in April and May and then suck in June? Considering it's so consistent, this, in my opinion, it has to do something with the manager. Did they get complacent? I don't know. There's no way to quantify it, but it's weird. It's very weird.
It is weird, but let me just tell you this. As of June 17th, 2 days ago, over the prior 5 days, the Yankees have bailed out 8 times, which ranked first in Major League Baseball. They've had 40 hard hit outs, which ranked first in Major League Baseball. They've had 22 sweet spot outs, which ranked fourth in Major League Baseball. They've had 15 hard hit fly ball outs, which was second in Major League Baseball. 64 squared up balls that resulted in outs, which was second in the majors. 26 blasted balls that resulted out in Major League Baseball, which is number 1. 90 balls hit with an ideal attack angle, resulting in outs, first in the majors.
So basically, you're saying the metrics say that the Yankees have been getting extremely unlucky recently.
And they were second in expected slug and second in expected weighted OBA, which I have my opinion. Xwoba, but like this was Yankee stats on Twitter. I have my opinions, but let's just be honest. Every team goes through ups and downs. Some are longer than others. The Rockies went through a 2-month slump, and look at them now. They've won. Yeah. They swept the Nationals. So
3 or 4. Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. We knew it was going to happen. We didn't maybe think it was going to be this rough, where they were getting shut out like in 30 straight innings, and everyone just struggled at once. I mean, Aaron Judge is like 2 for his last 31 with a ton of strikeouts, unlike him.
And that happened, guess what? Right after Boone benched him Thursday night in Kansas City. So what's the deal? Like Aaron Boone, my God, what's going on?
Wednesday night, Grisham was up first and second, no outs, 2-1 count. And Boone had the bunt on in the previous 3 pitches and then took it off. And he pops up to the catcher on the very next pitch.
I don't know. It's just something coaching going on there. Sometimes with Jazz, I love Jazz, but it gets so hard to defend him to go up the swing sometimes. But
he's got to learn a 2-strike approach. I don't know if he has it in him, but he's got to learn how to do that.
You know what I wish the Yankees also were a little more, and I noticed this last night? I wish they were more aggressive on the first pitch. Very few of the guys aren't very aggressive on the first pitch. Cody Bellinger is like almost every single time is auto take first pitch. JC Escarra, auto take. There's only a couple guys. And then like Judge also, depending on what mood he's in, but sometimes he'll take.
We often have guys swinging up, like Volpe on.
Volpe's going to swing.
Was it the extra inning game on Monday? Yeah, first pitch, he swung easy ground out. Like that was. But I agree. There are some games where I think the game plan is more aggressive than the others. Sometimes they're a little too passive. Sometimes maybe a little too aggressive. I think that it kind of varies game to game with them. With that, a couple other things on this series.
But do you want that?
I've always been. I kind of do wish they would keep it a little more consistent. And I think another thing with Giancarlo Stanton coming back is there's just not going to be any lineup consistency, which that might throw guys off.
We didn't think about that one. That's a big point.
Yeah,
now
there's just
so many options now. You have Rice at DH, Dominguez at DH. Like, what's your best outfield now at this point? Like, Grisham's come back to earth. What's your best outfield?
And it makes me wonder if they're going to trade for an outfielder. I really liked him in the 9-hole today. He hit the home run. I think he's better suited in the 9-hole than he is as a leadoff hitter for sure. The Yankees don't really have a leadoff hitter, and that was a question heading into the season, and they really haven't figured that one out yet. Now you got like 3 catchers in Ben Rice, Escarra, and Wells. I mean, are we going to see the end of JC Escarra? Is he going to get optioned or traded or something? I mean, I think he's a serviceable backup catcher. He's just it might be kind of just surplus of requirements at that position right now.
They just don't have a middle infielder right now. That's the biggest problem. I feel like your only middle infield options are Jazz, but Jazz is kind of pigeonholed at third.
I don't want to see Jazz at third. He made the error on whatever game that was in the series. He's not a third baseman.
He's made so many errors in the past 2 weeks.
He's not a third baseman.
He made the error on Sunday Night Baseball on the mic. He made the error, another error in Boston, I think, on the night game. It was Saturday night because I was watching the game, and then he did it. It's just like tough. It's tough watching Jazz.
He's much better at second base where he can show off his range from that position. Third base is more of like a reaction timing thing where you really only have to move to your left if you're going for the range. But he's not a third baseman, and
the problem is who's going to play third base.
Well, does Anthony Volpe show some positional versatility at some point in his career? I mean, for real, like this guy, they refuse to move him off shortstop, but he's not good defensively there. I know he won the Gold Glove. That was 2 years ago now. He hasn't improved since then. Do you move Volpe to second? Maybe try him at third. DJ LeMahieu cannot be the everyday third baseman for this team if they want to. Like, if second baseman, sorry. If DJ LeMahieu is in, let's say the Yankees make the World Series. If DJ LeMahieu is in your World Series lineup against whoever comes through from the National League side, they're not winning the World Series. He's not good enough. It's one of those things where the Yankees are just they made their bed and they're going to lay in it because they gave him so much money, and that was one of the worst contracts they've given out in recent memory. That was a contract given on, they were paying a guy based on past performance, not on what he projects to do under that contract, which is just a huge mistake organizationally. And the Yankees have made that mistake in the past so many times. I mean, Jacoby Ellsbury, the A-Rod contract was terrible. Aaron Hicks could go on and on. LeMahieu's another one of those, and they refuse to admit their mistake and just boot the guy to the curb, DFA him or whatever. But it should be Jazz at second, and then they should trade for a third baseman. It's so obvious to me.
The thing is, there's no third baseman. The only third baseman that's been floated has been Eugenio Suarez, and that's if Arizona sells.
And with this new expanded wild card, I just don't think Arizona is going to be selling. So yeah,
would you want Eugenio Suarez in the lineup? That's, I think, as much as he is a good bat, I think that's the last thing the Yankees need. Another like swing for the fences guy in that lineup.
And he's another right-handed hitter. I think what their Yankees dream would be a left-handed third baseman, but there's none of that available. I think outfield is an interesting position to watch because agreed, Grisham has come back down to earth. I do really like him defensively in center field, but it also poses the question of Grisham has been getting the nod over Jason Dominguez all season long, and they keep running him out there despite the struggles. Jason Dominguez is not getting reps every single day the way that I thought he was going to get this season. It seems like the Yankees have kind of lost their faith in him, and it's like, okay, if he's not playing every day, you're just going to trade him?
There was a reason that Luis Robert rumor came out, and I still can't make sense of it yet. So,
yeah, the Robert contract isn't pretty, if I remember correctly. It's
not bad. It just to me, it just doesn't make sense organizationally for the Yankees unless they clearly just want to get out of Dominguez. But what's the things you had remaining on the series while I look up this contract?
Yeah, look up the contract. I think he's leading or up there in stolen bases on the season, which is
he has a club option for the next 2 years for $20 million.
So you theoretically, if you traded for him, he could become a free agent. But $20 million is not awful. Do I have anything else from the series? Not really. I mean, from the Angels side of things, I was impressed with their lineup. Trout had a really good game today, just hit his 12th home run of the season. Taylor Ward went up to 19. And I mean, Joe Adell, 15 home runs on the season for him. It's kind of refreshing to see him kind of put it together this season. You know, the chase rates and the whiff rate and strikeout walk rate aren't all where you would like them to be, but he's up to 15 home runs on the season. The batting average isn't great, but I don't know. He's put together a nice season, and I think it was 8 home runs in his last 16 games after the home run today. So good for him. Angels, decent little ball club. Probably going to hover around 500 all season long. They're 36-38 now. Yeah, I don't have much else to say in the series. I think today's win really changed the mood of this pod. And now it's the
Baltimore series,
Orioles this weekend. Sagano versus Fried tomorrow night, and then we got Clark Schmidt versus Zach Eflin, and then Will Warren versus Dean Kramer on Sunday.
On the Roku on Sunday.
Yeah, it's at 10:30 Central Time on Sunday, I think, for me.
Yeah, so yeah.
I was looking at Jason Dominguez and Trent Grisham comparing the stats on Baseball Reference this year. I mean, Grisham's beating him in every single stat category except stolen bases. So
yeah, we'll see. Let's talk about some Rafael Devers.
Yeah.
Rafael Devers, we got the hit piece on Monday night. Big points came out that
on Monday night.
On Monday night. Boston's a shit show, my guy.
I did not realize it was this bad, but yes.
Hey, bro, it was so obvious. I've been saying it's two people painting. It's two people. It's one canvas and two people trying to paint it. That's how we say it best. You had the first artist fired. Now the second artist is trying to finish up the painting that the first one started, and you have two different type of artists trying to paint it. Two different backgrounds. Cora wants to win now, and the front office wants sustainable growth. That just sounds like a buzzword that you hear from.
That's a corporate buzzword.
Yeah, the executive. A lot of executives that were a part of the 10 years for those winning teams with Theo Epstein and from the Padres. They've been shut off from Breslow. Baseball operations was streamlined, which made it feel more Wall Street efficiency was the goal. They're using more swing mechanics and data, which they're doing that more than the fundamentals, which the coaching staff does not enjoy. Ownership has gone hands off. Sam Kennedy is running the show, who is the team president. Devers did not like the fact that Christian Campbell, they offered him to play third base, and Christian Campbell was like, yeah, sure. And the Boston Globe said that Devers was okay with third base, but he didn't want to be switched around and moved around the lineup every day. So here, excuse me. Sorry about that, William. I know that you will not like that, but here's the deal. My whole point on this whole thing is, Devers came out and said that he'll play anywhere in San Francisco. The point of the matter is it's a principle thing. I go back to my corporate America analogy. There is this big guy, head of marketing at X company. They bring in another head of marketing to work with him at his same position. You were signed on and you took an extension earlier for that position. And now they're asking you to switch when you were there first and you've been there, you've been the mainstay, you've been there tenured with the company, you've been honored by all these corporations and magazines and accolades, and then they're asking to move you away. It's a principle thing. Now that he's at a new company, Devers, he's in San Francisco, he has no loyalty. He has no loyalty built up. He has no goodwill built up. He knows that he is, yes, he has goodwill built up around the league for the type of player that he is, but he's not the guy in Boston. Like in Boston, he was the face of the franchise. He was one of the pillars in that 2018 World Series team. And now, he was incredible. And now he's not that in San Francisco.
I've seen a lot from both sides of the argument this week. And we've seen the big poppy come out and say, dude, just like, shut up, take the money, be respectful, be the face of the franchise. It seemed like Devers didn't want to be the face of the franchise. There was some rumblings that the Boston front office wasn't happy with like his unwillingness to do like events for the Red Sox and really like lean into being the face of the franchise. He kind of just wanted to show up and hit dingers. And I'm totally fine with that. I don't think you have to be, not everyone has the personality of being the face of the franchise. Think of a Mike Trout. I mean, obviously Devers was never as good as Mike Trout, but Trout was out there playing in Los Angeles. He was the face of the franchise, but he wasn't like this media megastar the way like an Ohtani or an Aaron Judge is. And, he was in his prime just as talented as those guys. So, I mean, maybe not as talented as Ohtani because Ohtani, the whole two-way thing. But nonetheless, like Devers didn't lean into that. The thing that interests me maybe the most from this whole week is the fact that the Red Sox players didn't really seem that sad that Devers was gone. Like they were like, yeah, okay, whatever. We're going to move on. We're going to keep doing our thing. Breslow basically said that he thinks that they can be even better now that Devers is gone, even though that maybe sounds a little bit counterintuitive. So that part interests me. I don't think Devers was loved in the Boston clubhouse. That said, he's a top 10 bat in the game. I know the Red Sox just won the series in Seattle. We'll see what they do the rest of the season, but I think they'd still be a better team with Devers in the lineup than with him out of it. And a lot of Red Sox fans are trying to say like, oh, well, we're going to be better without that contract. We're going to be better without him in the lineup. We're going to build around these young guys. Fair enough. I can't make a judgment on the young guys. I mean, Meyer's been balling out. We'll see with Roman Anthony. I think he's going to be a stud too. But
Christian Campbell just got optioned.
Christian Campbell just got optioned that contract.
I
think
don't know.
I think it'll be good for Campbell to go down to minor leagues and get some reps. He's the highest paid minor leaguer that I can remember in a long time. I don't think the Devers contract is that bad though. $29 million AAV, basically $30 million for the next 8 seasons. He's a DH, but it's like $400 million less than what Juan Soto got, and Juan Soto is going to be a career DH.
That's what I'm saying. I've been saying this, and you finally come around. What is the difference between Rafael Devers and Juan Soto? Yes, one has an insane eye, but they're both insanely great hitters. And when you put the metrics next to each other, they're not that far off from each other.
Soto, if you look at WAR and stuff, he's a lot more valuable as a player, but a lot of the counting stats are a lot closer than you would think.
I'm bringing them up right now. Let's talk about it, because I've been saying this, and you were like, no. And I'm glad you finally have come around to it, because I've been saying they're sort of the same freaking player almost. I mean, let's talk about it. I've been saying let's talk about it, but it's a big freaking deal. Like Juan Soto, and there it is.
I got it.
And Juan Soto has played 1,007 games. This was on Monday. Devers had played 1,053. So Devers has Soto be obviously in games and plate appearances by around 100-ish, but Devers has 200 more hits. He has 1 more homer, and he has about 70 more RBIs. Yes, Juan Soto has more stolen bases. Batting average only by 3 points. OBP obviously is going to be better because Juan Soto loves a little walk. Slug, Soto does slug a little better by 17 points, and obviously the OPS is going to be better. But other than that, they're the same player. Like I'm not saying that they're the same player, but they're really similar.
Yeah, I mean, Soto has 15 more Baseball Reference WAR points. I
don't care about these Baseball Reference. What do the old head baseball numbers say? What do the Ted Williams numbers say? Like, what are the numbers from back in the day from our ancestors say?
The OPS is a lot better for Soto. Like Soto is the better player. The question is he a $400? Is it a $400 million? Is it a $400 million gap? Is the question.
And
I don't know
that much.
I don't think the Devers contract is going to age that poorly. Like he was a below average third baseman defensively. I'd be fine if he's a DH for the rest of his career. If he plays a little first base, I think he might be a decent first baseman, because that's not that hard of a transition from being a below average defensive third baseman to what he could probably turn into like a average first baseman. And it's not as long as he can scoop the ball, that's fine. It's not the most important position defensively, as long as you're making the scoops and picking up the rest of your infielders. So it's interesting. It's certainly interesting. I think ultimately the Red Sox are not going to be as good of a team with Rafael Devers in the lineup. No, the lineup is infinitely worse. Not like a lot, but it's going to be worse. And like I said, Rafi Devers is a difference maker. And why do we care about what players say in the clubhouse? Is there any player in Boston that has more than like long tenured experience? Trevor Story has been on bad baseball teams all his career. Alex Bregman, he's on the IL. He's never spoken that much on the Astros. He was never the vocal leader of the Astros. And it's his first season there. Jarren Duran, yeah. I mean, he's a good story. We love Jarren Duran for what he's been through, and like I commend him. Happy Men's Health Month. We all love hearing about him. But has Jarren Duran been on a winning baseball team? Jarren Duran has been more in the headlines this might sound bad, but for mental health and for going at fans. He had one all-star year, but he hasn't been a part of good baseball teams. And that's just the fact of the matter. I love Jarren Duran, the player, but we got to call it as it is. Yeah. And so like clubhouses, like, I don't care. Like Rafael Devers, put him on the freaking team. Let's ride. Yeah. And then they already auctioned Kyle Harrison. I heard Red Sox fans trying to say he's a number 3 starter. Okay. People were saying, the propaganda was rampant Sunday night at 10 o'clock after our podcast. I was like, no. The fastball velo is up this year. He's working on a secondary. They're like trying to see like Kyle Harrison as this reclamation project when they can't even get the rotation right. Tanner Hoke's hurt. Lucas Giolito stinks. Liam Hendricks is like, unfortunately, he's a great story, but he's just
not there anymore like his old self.
Giolito's been pretty good his last few starts, but like the question is who's the last pitcher the Red Sox developed? All the guys in the rotation are external. Who's the last pitcher that the Red Sox developed?
Even on the World Series team, it was a Volpe, and I saw the graphic. It was a Volpe. They haven't developed anybody. John Lester.
That was a long time ago.
John Lester.
Probably their best pitchers ever. Pedro was not a dev system from the Red Sox because he came over from the Expos.
Kurt Schilling.
Also. I mean, it's like
all their players are imports. Well, if you think about those World Series teams, all those guys are imports. Ortiz was a Twins guy. He got more success in Boston.
Yeah.
Manny Ramirez was on the Indians at the time, now Guardians.
Pedroia was a development.
Pedroia, Damon wasn't their system guy. Ellsbury reminds me a lot when you think about his career with a lot of Benintendi.
Yeah, Veritek was a Red Sox win development,
but not too many guys. But we'll see what happens.
Did Ellsbury come up through the Red Sox system?
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he's like Benintendi.
What do you know about 2011 Jacoby Ellsbury? Second in MVP voting, 8.3 WAR, hit 321 with 32 homers. Wow, that's a real outlier. And then his Yankee career, Jacoby Ellsbury was not the best Yankee. We'll say that.
But let's move on. I mean, I totally feel Breslow's screwing the pooch. He's Nico Harrison.
Red Sox keep winning, though.
I mean, they keep winning, but let's see them play a good team. I mean, the Mariners, they're up and down. They're a yo-yo baseball club. So
yeah, let's get into
the college. No, let's get into the College World Series. Oof. Are we ready for LSU Coastal Carolina? Coastal Carolina has been on a heater these days. They've won like 26 consecutive games, and now they got big, bad, and mighty LSU, who pulls up to the game with they pulled up to the UCLA. They left the UCLA game listening to UCLA by R.O. Grime. How do we feel about the series?
Well,
we won in walk-off fashion last night against Arkansas.
I'm feeling for my Arkansas people after that game. I mean, that team and that program might be cursed. Do you see how they lost?
I saw they lost in walk-off fashion.
Oh my God, it was awful. It was terrible. It was back and forth game, but they went into the ninth inning with a 2-run lead, up 5-3, and 1 out. Taylor made double play ball to the shortstop. For whatever reason, it was like first and second. For whatever reason, he throws it to third base for the second out when he could have just thrown it to second and probably turned the double play. So now it's 5-3, runner on first and second with 1 out, 2 outs. LSU dude hits a frozen rope to the left fielder, and he must have misread it, misplayed it, hit off like his shoulder. 2-run score, tie game. And then you had the next guy comes up, and he hits a line drive to the second baseman who it was catchable. He had to jump, but it hit off his glove, and LSU wins. Just a series of errors for Arkansas in that inning. And it goes back to 2018 where they had the pop up in foul territory against Virginia and dropped it and lost that game. It just feels like they're cursed. They're probably the best college baseball program to never win a national championship. And I really felt bad. I mean, their players looked absolutely devastated. They were all like really distraught after that one. And yeah, LSU Coastal should be good. I want to see Coastal win it, just kind of for the underdog story. But
it just means more, man. SEC, baby. It just means more in the SEC. I mean, look at the Jello shot count as of 3 hours ago today. It is Thursday, June 19th at 5:13 afternoon. LSU has 25,000 Jello shots. The next team closest is Arkansas at 8,713.
I told you they'd win.
At a surprise third, Murray State, the Racers, 8,060 Jello shots.
That is a surprise. UCLA might not know that they have a baseball program.
UCLA is in last at 1,492 Jello shots. So, it is tough out there for the Bruins.
First game is tomorrow night, or maybe I think it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday for that series.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, best of 3. I'm tapped in because NBA Finals are probably going to end tonight. We're going to hear all the things about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, how Oklahoma City is the best team of all time when they lost 2 games versus Tyrese Halliburton, who only goes right.
Last time we
So
talked about that, you were chatting some noise to me, but
they should have won. They should have won Friday night, but
they did not. They could have gone up 3-1.
this is the baseball podcast. Let's get into the weekend. Excuse me. Let's talk about it. Colorado Rockies winning 3 of 4 against the Nationals. Hit 7 homers, tying the franchise record on Tuesday. 10 straight L's that went to 11 on Wednesday. They won today. James Wood hit a walk-off 2-run shot to win an 11. How do you feel about that?
How about, clap it up for the Rockies. Congratulations. They tied their franchise record for home runs in a single game with 7 on Tuesday night. They had 4 in the 7th inning. Hunter Goodman continues to rake, hit a home run on Tuesday, hit 2 home runs on Monday night. He's up to 14 on the season. Brady House got called up, been playing good ball for the Nationals, but the Nationals are just kind of a train wreck. But, you got to give a shout out to James Wood. 20 home runs on the season, 284 batting average with a 944 OPS. Look at his Savant page. It's mostly red. All of his hard hit rates are great. Barrel percentage, he loves hitting the ball to the opposite field. He's a true hitter, true power. He's one of the most exciting young power bats that I can remember. This guy's going to grow into his body even more. And I'm thinking 40 home run seasons consistently for this dude if he can stay healthy. The way he just sprays the ball all over the field. He's a really talented hitter, and he walks a lot too. So I'm excited about James Wood. Nationals, not so much. They just lost 3 or 4 to the Rockies. James Wood did hit 2 homers today, though.
Don't let the Rockies get hot. Don't let those Rockies get hot. Don't let them get hot.
No one's letting them get hot. Don't worry about that.
Hey, they live in Colorado. It stays nice and cold. They're nice and blue like the Coors Light bottle. So let's run through a couple series quickly. We talked a little bit about Boston winning the series 2-1. They won Monday 2-0, and they won on Wednesday 3-1. Garrett Crochet with the sweeper, 37 Ks. Hitters are hitting a .9 average against the sweeper. Roman Anthony with the first solo shot. We also had the Astros versus the Athletics. They got game 4 today. Nick Kurtz hit a walk-off on Monday, but Astros have been belt-to-ass situation on Tuesday and Wednesday. They play tonight again at 10 p.m. Let's also talk quickly some other series of Pittsburgh-Detroit. Pittsburgh gave a belt-to-ass today in the doubleheader in the first game, and Detroit did. And Detroit won on Tuesday 7-3. They're playing another one tonight, so they've won 2 out of 3. We also have there was a lot of postponements yesterday in baseball. And then the next one I'll get into is the Cubs. Cubs won on Tuesday, and PCA today in the morning hit a home run, but it was not enough. It was 8-7 in today's game. So, William, what do you think about those couple series that I just listed out for you?
That's a lot. PCA, youngest Cub ever to have a 2020 season. It's June 19th, and he's already at 2020. Everyone said he was going to fall off, but he just keeps hitting. So good for PCA. Cubs did lose, though, to the Brewers. There's some beef. The Brewers tweeted out yesterday something about, there was a video of the Cubs raining in Wrigley, and they said, really would be good to have our roof right now or something. It's like, come on. Baseball's an outdoor sport. Nonetheless, Roman Anthony, first career home run. Brian Wu, 14 straight starts with at least 6 innings pitched. That's the longest streak for the Mariners since Felix Hernandez had 18 straight in 2014. Brian Wu has been great. 7 innings of scoreless ball on Tuesday night. Cal Raleigh hit a grand slam, his 27th home run of the season, which leads Major League Baseball as of now. Hitters are 6 for 67, as you mentioned, on Garrett Crochet's sweeper, who went 6 scoreless, or 6 with 1 earned run yesterday. Meyer hit his 4th home run of the year. Trevor Story hit his 10th. Duran has not been as good of a left fielder as he was a center fielder last year. Dropped an easy pop-up. I know the sun was there, but he did drop a pop-up yesterday. And he's got a -3 outs above average in left field this season. Something to watch because they got Rafael in center field, who's an elite defender. I prefer Duran in center field. I saw some people making the argument that left field is the hardest outfield position to play. I'd be really curious to see if the Red Sox do decide to move Duran. I don't think so, but we'll see. We mentioned Kristen Campbell getting options. I think that'll be a good thing for him. Not much on Houston, Oakland. Cam Smith, 2 home run night on Tuesday night, though. Altuve's up to 12 home runs on the season. And the Astros are kind of dominating the American League West. They're 5.5 up right now. Jeremy Pena made a really good Derek Jeter-esque jump throw in that game. And then you mentioned Detroit's 2 home runs for Javi Baez on Tuesday night. It was marked his 10-year service time moment. That made me feel old.
Wow.
9 home runs on the season, and then you mentioned they got rained out, and then the Tigers won the first one of the doubleheader today. Skubal going 5 2/3, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. Not his best start. And then that's it, I think. Those are all the series you mentioned.
A couple other series of note to continue. Kansas City and Texas. Royals completed the sweep today, winning 4-1. You also got Cleveland right now. They're in play right now. Cleveland won the series, winning 2 out of 3 against San Francisco. Devers got an RBI in his debut on a double in Tuesday's game. Where else are we going? Let's go also to Arizona, Toronto. Toronto came back off an Addison Barger walk-off on Tuesday, 5-4, and they won yesterday, 8-1. Right now, though, Arizona is giving the belt to Ass. It is 9-2 in the bottom of the 7th. We also have another series of note. Let's go to Minnesota and Cincinnati. Cincinnati won Tuesday 6-5 and Wednesday 4-2. They continue to stay hot, though today the Twins won 12-5 today. Thoughts on those? Reds stay hot, right on time for the Yankee series on Monday. You also got Toronto keeping pace and Kansas City rebounding. Talk about it.
Yeah, Jack Caglione hit his first career home run. Went up high to get it, was way over his head. Also, PCA might be the best bad ball hitter since Vlad Guerrero Sr. Just throwing that out there.
Or Javi Baez.
Good sweep for the Royals, though. They bounced back from some struggles they had been having. Maikel Garcia had a huge game on Wednesday, going 3-for-4 with 4 ribbies and a home run. And then on the Reds, Byron Buxton had a huge week, hit a home run in all 3 games of this Red series. And I'm going to give him a shout out again. Like, it's just refreshing to see Byron Buxton playing really good baseball and staying healthy this season. He's up to 15 home runs. He's hitting 280 with an 898 OPS. The Savant page is pretty strong. The only thing that's working against him is the strikeouts and the whiffs, but he's playing elite defense. Like I said last time, I feel like every single time I see a Byron Buxton highlight, he's making an elite defensive play or hitting a home run. As long as this dude can stay healthy, I feel like he's finally playing up to his potential. The thing is, I don't really think the Twins are going anywhere. They're around 500. I'm not saying they would, but I feel like he could be an interesting piece at the trade deadline. Yeah. Be an interesting name for some teams. I think could be some interest, but it is refreshing to just see him like finally playing some really good baseball and staying healthy. And yeah, the Reds, I mean, they're playing decent ball. It was 4-2, and they called it after 6 innings on Wednesday, which was kind of weird.
A lot of rain up in the Midwest. Let's talk about the Dodgers and San Diego series. A lot going on right now. We will not talk about all that's going on in LA until we get more information on what's going out there. We will refrain until more facts are out, but we'll keep this to baseball and baseball only. The Dodgers won the first 3 games out of 4-game set. They do play tonight, which, again, we'll see what happens tonight. Ohtani returned to the mound on Monday. Looked like Ohtani, 1 earned run, but hit 100 miles an hour in 28 pitches. Got a little beef going. Padres got plunked on Monday night. Tatis and Ohtani got plunked on Tuesday. And then last night you had the walk-off pinch hit homer for Will Smith off of Robert Suarez. I mean, this just seems like a playoff series in the making. I feel like it's one of those series that can go either way. We need it. Talk about it, William.
Yeah, I want to see these 2 teams play in the playoffs. I feel like, though, the Dodgers kind of just dominate the Padres. And the Padres absolutely hate the Dodgers, but the Dodgers don't really think about the Padres. That's at least how I feel about it. You had Tatis and Ohtani both get drilled on Tuesday night. I don't think the Tatis one was intentional. I do think the Ohtani one looked pretty intentional. Dave Roberts got tossed because the Dodgers dugout got warned, but the Padres one didn't. Andy Pages, potentially an all-star, 15 home runs on the season, had a 2 home run night on Tuesday. Emmett Shaheen, or as you say, Ed Sheeran, was back. He pitched. That was a fun game last night. Of course, the Dodgers won with that walk-off home run off Robert Suarez. Ohtani was back pitching. That was kind of the biggest maybe storyline, big picture from this series. Returned a lot faster than we were thinking. Hit 100, struggled with his command, I think, a little bit, got hit a little bit, but it's still, obviously much needed for the Dodgers to get him back. Be curious to see like when he goes again, what his workload is going to look like. Is he going to ramp up? Right now, Fangraphs has him
against the Nationals.
slated Nationals on Sunday.
We'll see. I mean,
we'll see.
Put him in bubble wrap. I feel like just put him in bubble wraps in the playoffs. So,
yeah. How about the Dodgers lineup for some of the injuries they've had? They're first in average OBP, OPS, runs, and home runs.
I mean, they're hot. I mean, but
I think they're going to.
I just feel like San Diego can go off this year. I feel like we can see roles reversed. Like,
San Diego's 6 back now. The Dodgers are 4.5 up. I think the Dodgers might run away with this thing, dude.
But in the wild card series, like
in the wild card, yeah. I mean, you never know with baseball. Yeah, you never know.
Playoffs. So,
yeah.
But again, let's see about tonight's game.
Yeah,
if it's played.
Blue Jays playing hot ball.
Yeah, I talked about that game. Let's talk about quickly these two next series. St. Louis and the White Sox. Cardinals won Tuesday 12-2, and they won this morning. Again, you had a robbery by Michael A. Taylor, insane. And then there's the White Sox game in Rome where do you see that? Do you see that clip?
Yeah. So I'll say, the Pope was, I think it was in the Vatican, was going through on his little car thing and waving to fans, and these fans started doing the White Sox chant. They're like, White Sox, White Sox, White Sox. And the Pope started chanting along with them. It was pretty cool to see. And it had me thinking, I'm giving free ideas out to Major League Baseball here. Major League Baseball needs to have a game in Rome. It's the most obvious thing ever they could do from a marketing perspective. Probably can't play it in the Vatican. I don't think logistically it would work, but do it in Rome.
Yeah.
Do it in Rome. Play it in where Lazio and Roma play. Do it. Obviously, the White Sox are going to be involved, and then pick a team with a heavy Italian influence. And I think it would probably be the Yankees.
Or the Cubs. Imagine the Cubs.
But I think more so the Yankees, the ton of Italian fans. I think it would make a lot of sense. And do it, I don't know, at 2026. I don't know how long it takes to plan, but I feel like this is a no-brainer for me. We have a Pope that's actually like very interested in baseball. Or maybe not very interested, but he cares about baseball. Like, do it. Rome game, 2026. I want to see it.
Let's see. Baltimore and Tampa played this week up in Tampa. I mean, big news out of Tampa. Tampa won 2 out of 3. They got game 4 tonight. Big news out of Tampa is that they're in advanced talks for a $1.7 billion deal that would keep the Rays in Tampa if they get sold. We'll see what happens with the stadium. Will be very interesting to see. I mean, I think the other big news in sports is Dodgers probably going to have Ohtani playing basketball for the Lakers next year. Who knows? Could be LeBron's center. Could get some basketball advice from his wife. Ohtani's wife is an ex-hooper, so we'll see about that one. Any thoughts on that series? Tampa looks good, my guy.
Tampa looks really good. They're playing incredible baseball. They're 20-7 since May 20th, which is the best mark in Major League Baseball. Wednesday night, they were down 8-0, came back to win 12-8, matched the largest comeback in franchise history. Crazy game. Moved them back to a game and a half back of the Yankees for first place in that one. Yes, you mentioned the sale of the Lakers, which they went for $10 billion, which is the most expensive sale of all time. And kind of just had me thinking, like, we've had the Lakers get sold. We've had the Celtics get sold recently. We had the Suns get sold a couple years ago. The Mavericks sold in 2023. The Hornets sold in 2023. And it just kind of has me thinking, like, why are all these rich owners selling these NBA franchises? It's because, in my opinion, this recent media rights deal was maybe a little bit inflated. I don't think the NBA media rights are maybe worth as much as they sold for. And I mean, go look at what we're seeing from a finals ratings perspective this season. I think we're seeing a lot of owners sell while the price is hot, while these valuations might be a little bit inflated. I don't know. Are the Lakers ever going to be worth more than $10 billion? We'll see, but I think we see a lot of owners that got in at the right time in like the early 2000s or before. In the Lakers, it was like 1979 in their case, and they're selling for a profit. And then you got these super rich dudes coming in that kind of just want to own a sports team as like a novelty item, and super mega billionaires, they view it more as just like a flex thing than when maybe some of these older, more established owners wanted to buy the team, of course, as the mantelpiece, but also as like an investment. I think I see a lot of NBA owners. I know this is a baseball podcast, but I see a lot of NBA owners kind of getting out at what they think is the right time.
Good observation you got there. Mets lost 5 straight as of yesterday. Braves won the first 2 games. The Braves came back on Tuesday night, winning 5-4, and then Chris Sale went 8 2/3, 116 pitches, 7 strikeouts. Talk about highway robbery trade. Chris Sale for Vaughn Grisham.
Yeah.
Woo! They play tonight at 7:15.
Another masterclass by Boston there. Chris Sale, Anthopoulos came out and said that there's no way they're trading him at the trade deadline, so that kind of ends that. The Braves scored on a catcher's balk on Wednesday. It's the first time I've seen that. Yeah, Luis Torrens used the mask to stop the ball, and he raked the ball back into his glove with his mask, and you can't do that. And the Braves scored a run on that, so that makes 5 straight L's for the Mets, and Frank the Tank is freaking out. Matt Olson homered last night. Acuna took the first pitch of the game, dead center, for a home run. And I mean, it bodes the question, like, is Acuna the starting center fielder in the National League All-Star game? I mean, look at his numbers. He's hitting .390 with a 1.215 OPS, 495 OBP, 8 home runs. Like, generational talent coming off a torn ACL. Jaw celebrations. Yeah.
He's been pulling the grenade celebration. Hey, Braves are still dead, but hey, New York's on fire. Again, as I said, both teams stink. Williams jinxing teams. Every time William hops on a team, he jinxes them. So came on last week, said he was a believer in the Mets. Go ahead and they lose a couple games.
They haven't won a game since that episode.
Maybe it's just reverse psychology. Who knows?
Maybe.
And then finally, we had Philadelphia versus Miami down here in Miami. Phillies won 5-2 on Monday, and then Wednesday 4-2. I mean, Castellanos made an incredible play to save the game last night. Big note was Tuesday. Nick Castellanos was not in the lineup because of inappropriate comments that were made towards manager Rob Thomson the night before, and he had played 236 straight games. But what matters is the Phillies are back on track.
And respect to Rob Thomson for doing that, for standing zone. You know who would not do that?
Aaron Boone.
Exactly. Aaron Boone would say, "All right, man," and you're in the lineup next game.
Would you do that as a manager? Would you do that as a manager of your ball club?
I would do what Rob Thomson did. I'd be like, "I don't care who you are. You're not playing. You don't talk to me like that.
You're sitting on the bench.
You're sitting on the bench. You gotta have some ownership of the team. Like, you gotta." Rob Thomson was in the Yankees coaching staff until he got that job.
Yeah, he was on the Girardi staff too in the Phillies. So
I'm telling you,
interesting note.
Respect to Thomson for doing that. Trey Turner loves hitting in Miami. By the way,
yeah.
Homered on Monday night and then homered on Tuesday as well. And Ranger Suarez, 8 straight quality starts, is leading Major League Baseball in terms of this quality start streak. 7 innings, 1 earned run on Wednesday night.
Another waiver wire into my fantasy baseball team.
Yeah, let's look at the standings.
Right now, I'm in third place. I know.
I was talking about the actual standings. The Mets are only a game up of the Phillies right now in the National League East. In the Central, Cubs are 5.5 up of the Brewers. In the West, Dodgers are 4.5 up of the Giants. American League West, Astros are 5.5 up on Seattle. Tigers are 9.5 up of Cleveland. That's division is over. And the Yankees are now 2 games up of Tampa Bay. Wild card holders right now, Rays, Jays, Guardians, and then the Red Sox are tied with the Guardians in the American League, with Seattle a half game back, Minnesota a game back, KC a game and a half back, and the Angels 2 games back, and then the Rangers 2.5 back. Those are kind of the teams that are in the mix. In the National League, you got the Phillies, Giants, and Padres, and Brewers holding wild card spots. Padres and Brewers are tied for the final one. You got the Cardinals a half game back, Reds a game back, D-backs 3 back, Braves 5.5 back, and then everyone else is 9 or more back in the National League.
That's the week that was in Major League Baseball.
That was a good week of baseball for everyone except the Yankees. It feels like Cardinals, went final against the White Sox. They won the first game of the doubleheader. And yeah, D-backs are going to win. We talked about it. So we'll be back Sunday night, recapping Yankees, Orioles, and everything else in the world of baseball.
Keep it locked. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, trying to get up to 100 subscribers at the end of the year. And make sure you keep following the Substack. Article coming soon.
Up to 55 subscribers on the YouTube. So more from the last episode. What you got this weekend, Luis? Anything going on?
Nothing much. Birthday's tomorrow, so we're getting to it tomorrow. So
happy early birthday.
Yeah, we're getting to it tomorrow. We don't know if much baseball will be watched, but I will be keeping it locked on my phone throughout the weekend. We'll see what happens in baseball and work.
All right. I got a wedding in Indiana to go to. It's going to be 95 degrees outside.
Oh yeah, it's
for
gonna
that
be
one.
100 degrees down here. So enjoy it. Have a good time. We'll be back here Sunday. We'll be keeping it locked.
Enjoy your birthday. Hopefully you make it back in one piece and you're physically capable of doing the episode on Sunday.
We'll be physically capable.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will be back on Sunday. Until then, peace out.
Peace.